Hey, what's up, fantasy people? This is Tyler, Big Turd Ward, and Jason, the designated driver, Uthenwoldt, and this is the Fantasy Football Show.
Drink
Today's
responsibly.
episode. What are you going to say?
I was going to say, you got to drink responsibly.
Yeah, Jason's wife has a Christmas party tonight, and Jason does not want to pay for an Uber, which I totally understand.
Yeah, might as well. Ubers is going to cost much as gas, man.
Yeah, but it is costing us quality content on the show, Jason.
Well, I always said we could have done it tomorrow.
Everybody knows you're better drunk. Anyways, today's episode, Week 13 Beer Time Breakdown, Thursday night wrap-up, whatever you want to call it. Did you get to watch the whole game last night, Jason?
I watched the whole thing.
Yeah, me too, dude. I almost turned it, but I was like, one more drive. I was like, Ray, let me just watch one more drive from the Patriots. And dude, that drive lasted forever, dude. That last drive, they treated it like there was 20 minutes on the clock.
I know.
And so by the end, it was the end of the game after that drive. I was like, whatever, dude. So it worked out. I got to watch the whole game.
And all they got was a field goal, right?
I was saying this was going to be a Nick Folk 3 field goal game, because I just thought they were going to move the ball way more than what they did. But yeah, dude, Nick Folk got 1 field goal out of that. So, and at the end, it's like you saw Mac Jones. He's all, throw the effing ball. Did you see that?
Yeah, he was tired of doing these quick passes, man. He wanted to build something that could get further downfield. I mean, look how long it took him to get downfield.
1 second. Before we go any further, I would like to ask Jason to tell these people how they can help us real fast. I'm sorry.
Oh, yeah, you could help me and Tyler and our supportive family, our internal family. If you could get us some likes, and if you could get us some subscriptions. We're at 35 now. We're at 35, getting close to the 50 mark, which I like. And leave some comments too. We also like getting involved in that and sharing our trades and who to play and all that stuff. To continue on with that, if we're going to do a shout out, I also want to give it, because you mentioned Ray earlier, I want to give a shout out to the old ball and chains on both sides of this camera, right? They've been very supportive during this whole thing, and they are my wife, and I know your wife is buying us stuff so we could actually do better and look better on the screen and stuff. It makes it a lot easier when we both have our wives as support. So I want to give a shout out to my wife and be like, thank you, baby. I love you.
She's only supportive because I yell at her. I say, be supportive.
You better subscribe.
I'm kidding. She's great. Also, shout out to our 35th subscriber, Mary Seppiger. David Seppiger, if you're out there, you better subscribe too, man. I know where you live.
Oh.
I'm kidding. Hey, thank you so much for watching.
We need to get that son involved. What's he doing? On the couch playing video games?
Well, Jason texted me today. He's like, 35, man. We got 35 subscribers. And I had to break it to him. Every time we text each other being like, we got a new subscriber, it's always our aunt or uncle or coworker.
Yeah. I know. When you said that, I was like, oh, man.
I know, dude. It's so disappointing when you hear that. But hey, she was she left a comment. She's all about fantasy football right now, so
that's cool.
That's cool with me. Yeah.
The worst year involved in fantasy football. But
what'd you say?
The worst year in fantasy football, but hey.
I explained it to her. I was like, dude, literally the auto draft teams are winning this year. That's the way it is. That's the way the year is. It's crazy.
It's nuts.
And the 2 years before this were terrible too because of COVID. I mean, those have ruined weeks, so I'll be happy when there's just kind of a normal-ish fantasy year. But Jason, speaking of this game, was there anything that you were looking for going into it?
Oh, yeah. So the key points I was looking forward to watching on both teams was, Mac Jones. He threw up 300 yards against the Vikings on Thanksgiving. I wanted to see if that was going to continue, see how the passing game was going to be. I didn't think it was going to be much because it's completely two different defenses, but you never know. Maybe Bill Belichick finally figured something out and be like, we could get this guy 300 yards a game, passing 4 touchdowns. Oh, God.
Matt Patricia, dude. Yeah.
On the other side, I just want to see how, because Josh Allen's arm is, it's not as great right now. It's injured. So I want to see how his rushing was going to be against the Pats defense.
Yeah. I was talking to this coworker of mine and I was like, yeah, he was asking me about the game and I was like, yeah, it should be a good game. Like, the Patriots defense is really good. They just threw for, the Bills have been allowing surprisingly a lot. They've been surprisingly bad lately in defense. And what was I going to say? Oh, Josh Allen, dude. Remember we talked about this, like in cold weather, I thought his elbow would be a lot better because that first game after that injury was cold weather and he acted like nothing happened. And then the 2 after that were in that dome and he's kind of sucked. So
Yeah.
I was like, I was wondering if this cold weather was kind of keeping his elbow from not hurting. And last night he still didn't, he still didn't really have that much success. No 100-yard receivers. He only threw for 223 yards. It's a Patriots defense was a lot of that though, I think.
Well, this was also the game, which was had me by surprise that they had one of the most rushing total of all season. I mean, James Cook, he had 14 rushes, and Devin Singletary had 13 rushes. Between that, was that 27 rushes off the top of my head, not including.
Well, that 37, they had 37 rushes, but 8 from Josh Allen.
And then 8 from Josh Allen, and that's one of the highest rushing totals they've had all year. I didn't expect them to run the ball just like continually, just run. I mean, that's great for Devin Singletary owners, and James Cook looked amazing. He looked pretty damn good.
Well, that was the second rushing touchdown that New England has allowed all season. So I mean, for Singletary to get that touchdown was big for him because I was like, dude, I was thinking you should probably pause on Devin Singletary because he's probably not going to get a touchdown. But yeah, dude, watching James Cook though, like next he could be like, a playoff winner this year, maybe, but I still don't think they're going to go to the run that much this year. But next year is like, I need to see Singletary's contract situation because, dude, if Jared Cook is the only guy in that backfield, he's going to be so good.
Yeah, this was the
20 touches, man. He'll get 100 yards.
This was the rushing game I expected from James Cook last week when they went up against the Lions.
James Cook, sorry, yeah.
And then, so I expected that last week against the Lions because their defense is horrible. And then they go against yesterday against a pass defense that's great. Like you said, they only allowed 2 rushing touchdowns all year. I didn't think they were going to rush the ball that much. I didn't think they were going to do that well on the ground, but they did. It's kind of like, dude, you got your weeks mixed up. You were supposed to do that last week against a horrible defense, not against a good defense.
Yeah, and if you watch that game, dude, it was like they were really stifling the run like the first half maybe. But then the second half it really opened up for James Cook.
I had Devin Singletary as a pause. I did put him as a pause. And I was saying Josh Allen was going to get the rushing touchdown if there was going to be one in that game. And it's just crazy. It's a game of inches. Josh Allen, he's a guy that rushed it for 10 yards, got it to the 1-yard line. And then luckily Singletary came in when he had that opportunity. Singletary wasn't even in the game. It was James Cook at that time. I was even thinking, I was like, dude, this is the time to get that rookie that touchdown, man. Let them drive it in. But they brought in Singletary, and he was able to get that 1-yard touchdown. And I believe gave him like 11 points in our league, which, it's not great, but it's good to have over 10 points from players.
Oh, yeah. I mean, so I think that Singletary is a great flex play going forward, but like he's not going to be. Remember how he was literally a league winner last year. I was just on a thread and a lot of people were like, dude, he won me a championship last year. And so this year he's not going to get, it's pretty much. So they both had a bad game last week, but the 2 out of 3 last weeks have been pretty much a 50-50 timeshare. And now James Cook is kind of overtaking that pass catching role. I mean, he had one less target than Gabriel Davis,
Yeah.
He was third on the team with targets. He had 3 less than Stephon Diggs. So like James Cook is doing what they drafted him to do right now. Like he's actually overtaking that. So I think it's going to be a 50-50 on the ground going forward. And then James Cook like 75-25, through the air. And that makes James Cook a startable flex. Like I dropped him for I think Jordan Mason or Jalen Warren because I really thought that Naheem Hines had a hernia. And I wanted to win against you really bad because I'm going against you this week, Jason. We should
Mm-hmm.
and also I want to let Matt know that he's in Jason. I don't know how open you are to a listener league next year, but hearing Matt's experience with his league, dude, it sounds terrible. I was like saying, hey man, we're gonna have a listener league and you're the first person invited.
Yeah,
So because he's literally carrying this comment section, Jason.
I know. He's the anchor.
And you are the sail, and I am the wind, and we will go.
Oh, yeah.
We all need each other, really. This is like a three person thing. I need you, you need not me, and we need the audience. So there you go.
Just like my camera setup, we're a tripod.
Hey, your camera setup's amazing. It makes me want to get I'm getting a light setup for Christmas, I'm pretty sure. So she didn't say anything.
Oh, okay. Okay.
She's too focused, man. She's playing Apex. I can hear guns going off.
I'm knocked down. All right.
Third party.
Glad that you mentioned the James Cook at the targets. He caught all of his targets.
Yeah.
Devin Singletary had 2 targets and he didn't catch either one, and they were like in his hands. One was almost like an interception. Like he had it, he bobbled it, and I feel like he almost gave it to the Patriots cornerback. It's not the best when you see stuff like that when he's dropping balls and James Cook is catching it. The only thing that I think is you can see the rise of James Cook, right? This is something that you've been talking about all year. You can see the potential, and he's getting better. He's getting more involved. But who's going to be that goal line back? Is it going to stay Singletary?
He was in on a lot of red zone snaps last night. If you noticed, I was surprised. And then, but yeah, dude, like, so when did your dad draft James Cook? I think like 6th round, maybe.
I think a little bit later than that.
Okay,
but around that time.
I wanted him so bad, and we all thought he was gonna be great. And now you see what we saw. There's a reason why everybody liked him, and
Yeah.
So he's been dropped, and like, dude, people say he's been passed around like a $5 whore on Reddit today, and I was like, yeah, dude, like I've dropped him. Everybody's picked him up in our league, dude.
Yeah.
And I literally just dropped him, and it's funny, my luck this year. You drop him and he goes off, but I'm still not 100% sold that he's going to go off this year, but he is still worth that lottery ticket because there's not very many people that could win you the playoffs, or a championship on the waiver wires right now, and he's one of them.
Yeah, right now it looks like he's going to have to score those touchdowns from a distance. As of right now.
Distance.
From a distance.
I don't even know the rest of that song, but that's an old song for you kids.
I didn't know that was a song.
Oh, it's a song. It's Bette Midler.
Diggs did his thing. Can you Diggs? He did his thing. He is so consistent of just like getting those catches.
Doesn't matter who he goes against.
I know he can't be stopped. His route running, his pitching ability is it's too good.
He's a 1st-round draft pick next year, but I'm not picking him because he's old. Or I'm gonna pick Justin Jefferson or I don't know who else is there. Cooper Kupp, but he's getting old too. I'm gonna get Justin Jefferson next year, I think. But anyways, he is a 1st-round draft pick next year because he was a 2nd-round draft pick this year, and he is exceeding that.
Yeah. Did you see his they showed a stat during that game is that the Bills when they traded for Diggs, they gave him some draft picks, and one of those draft picks they got Justin Jefferson out of him.
That's so crazy, dude.
I know.
Oh, I remember that. No, I totally remember that. Because it was like, oh, hey, we replaced a wide receiver, like Treylon Burks and AJ Brown type of situation. And then I want to say, as a Gabriel Davis owner, so like he has literally been crap for like 5 weeks maybe. And then what, he caught that touchdown on a broken play. Like that was a broken play, dude. That was luck. And then he got like one other catch after that. And I continually see, like, every time Josh Allen throws to Gabe Davis, it's like almost an interception or a pat down or, dude, something pass deflected, something. If you want to trade, I mean, dude, if you need to pick up somebody else and drop Gabe Davis, I wouldn't be that crazy. I mean, you're not going to drop Gabe Davis, but you're not going to start Gabe Davis. He's kind of like in this weird in between zone, dude. Like where you can't start him and you can't cut him. So I don't know.
There was he was on the pause list for me, and then I saw that touchdown on a broken play, and I was like, oh dang, well there's already 6 points right there, and it's like what, the second quarter or something like that. So I was like, he's going to get over 10 points, and he did not. He ended the game. God, I'm tired of these hooligans. God.
I looked at my wife when I did that. She didn't even notice.
I thought you were looking. Scared me. But he still only finished. He finished even with the touchdown. He still finished under 10 points.
Oh, dude! Like I'm so happy. I'm like, I think I was trying to start the what is that, Trevor Lawrence, Zay Jones stack against you, and I'm totally cool with not starting Gabe Davis. It's like, dude, he's second in the team in targets, but it has amounted to nothing so many times. It's crazy.
It's
literally, and right now, sorry to tell you this, Jason, but like they're really talking about picking up like Von Miller's talking to him. OBJ, they're talking to OBJ right now and trying to sign him. So I think it's better for OBJ to go to Dallas. He'll get way more use in Dallas, but like, dude, it's gonna be so bad for Gabe Davis if OBJ gets signed.
I don't even know if OBJ is going to make that big of a difference.
Well, I don't believe in OBJ. Like I've been talking on my waiver show, you can listen to it, man. Like I'm just like, I don't believe in anything, but as fantasy wise, but I think he might help a real team later on. So I don't know, dude. Gabe Davis made his big run in the playoffs last year, so
He needs to join a playoff team for sure, because he's going to help.
Do you hope he joins the Cowboys?
I mean, it'd be nice, but I mean, it's like we're doing all right without him. We're concentrating more on the running game right now anyway, and CeeDee Lamb seems to be really improving. So it could be one of those situations that, like, if they put him on the team, he's not going to get enough targets to make a big of a difference. I mean, he's definitely a red zone threat. So like he could probably put up some points for just like team wise, but for like fantasy, I don't think he's going to be irrelevant. But Cowboys are more run right now anyway. Which
plus when he's on the team playing, he might just fight everybody. So
yeah. Also, James Washington for the Cowboys is coming back.
What's funny is like James Washington was like a must start with Kyle Rudolph, and I totally forgot that he was on the Cowboys.
He like broke his foot, and he's like just about coming off IR.
Yeah, he's fast, dude. He's super fast. But yeah, so like, really, like, so there's like James Cook, Devin Singletary, and Stephon Diggs that you want to start in this offense, and that's so crazy. You might want to start Isaiah McKenzie if you're going to PPR, but
that's who Isaiah McKenzie. I had him as a boom this week, and it was going great. I was like, dude, this is what I was expecting to happen. He was getting his receptions, he was getting the yards, and then they just kind of towards the end of the third quarter, they were just focusing on running the ball. Didn't really throw the ball much. He didn't throw a lot in the second half, and that kind of hurt the value of like other like Gabe Davis, Dawson Knox, who I don't think he even had a reception, and my boomer buzz Isaiah McKenzie. But like I said, it was great for Singletary and Cooks. They were using them, but it was just a weird game script here. I didn't expect them to run the ball and run the ball effectively against the Pats
Oh
defense.
man, like I said, like the first half they were really stopping the run, and I didn't expect the Bills to stick with it, but they actually did, and it paid off. So that was unexpected.
And they didn't have their starter left tackle, Dawkins in neither, but it didn't matter.
Well, did you? Oh, and that Quessenberry, the left tackle, dude, he was getting messed up all night. I was surprised Josh Allen only got 2 sacks because man, that Quessenberry was getting like he would trip over his own feet. He was so injured. He'd go get his calf looked out, trip again.
Well,
So,
there's always a huge grade difference between your starting left tackle and your
oh
backup.
yeah, totally. I mean, it's like my fantasy. It's like your championship fantasy team. There's no depth. It's all starting lineup.
Mm-hmm.
But anyways, what was I going to tell you, Jason? God, man, I was like, I saw something crazy in my corner of my eye. What did you just die, Ray? Okay, sorry, Jason. Oh wow. But anyways, Jason, is there anything else you want to? This is what I want to ask you was, is there any really wrongs on your play pause you want to go over or rights?
I mean, it was pretty much, I guess you could say the big wrong. I mean, like I said, I said pause Devin Singletary. He did only get 11 points. It's not good, but it's not bad. I want to, like I said, if I had that in one of my players, I wouldn't be too mad about it. So I would say I was wrong on that one, and I was wrong on the bust because on the boom because Isaiah McKenzie he still only got like 7 points or something, like 6 or 7 points.
Right. Okay.
I was proud of the passing game, but
Well, you want to talk about McEnroe Jones?
yeah, he looked amazingly bad.
I was like, dude, because I predicted to Jakobi Meyers have a good game. Like I was like, he's gonna get he's gonna get like 8 for 88, and then Hunter Henry is gonna get a touchdown. Just like watch, dude. And you saw how frustrated Mac Jones is with his offensive coordinator and everything going on around there, dude. So like, I am, the biggest thing from the Patriots offense that I saw was like, I could have swore that Rhamondre Stevenson had like 100 yards receiving after that game. And
Me
then I
too.
go, dude, I was like, what is going on? Like every single play was a pass to Rhamondre Stevenson. He only got 24 yards.
I know it's crazy. He's such a good player, and he's a good runner. He's a slow runner, but he's good. He's a good runner. You like him. Unfortunately, he's on the Pats offense, which is very hard to determine, running backs situation. Right now, he's the man. They don't really have anybody else. You got Devin Harris, but he keeps getting hurt and stuff. I don't even think Harris was even active for today. Huh?
Damien, I'm only correcting you because later on you'll be like, Tyler, why didn't you say anything? You don't listen.
Who did I say?
Devin.
Oh, he's a basketball player. Damien. But don't start Devin Harris either. Don't start him. Your fantasy football league. Damien Harris, it was just Stevenson like all game. Did you start Marcus Jones?
So I was going to say, there's a stat out there. The leading receiver for the New England Patriots is cornerback Marcus Jones.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, dude, like what the hell? But you know what? When you watch him, how good did he look, man?
On that one play, yeah.
I know.
He looked amazing. He looked fast too. Great read, Mac Jones, and great setup. It was and that was it.
Like, so I called on Jakobi Meyers to get, a ton of targets. He got 5, which actually led wide receivers. But dude, like, and then like, Hunter Henry, who I called on to get a touchdown, tied him with 5. But it was such a bad game from the New England Patriots, man. Like, it was so hard to watch. And now everybody's just calling for the Patriots just to fire everybody, So
yeah,
it was just bad.
Their offensive line didn't look great. Mac Jones, he had like 3 rushes for like 7 yards, but he got hurried out of the pocket. Quarterback pressured like 5 times, 1 sack. He was just, they were in his face all night, knocking down the ball from the line. You always hear this from the big dudes on like ESPN or NFL Network, like the game is won and lost in the battle of the trenches.
Ooh, you just reminded me of something. I'm gonna crack a beer open though before I do that.
Okay. So to continue what I'm saying to a blank screen is the Patriots offensive line got smashed by the defense by the Bills, and they didn't even have Von Miller. I was expecting some more sacks, but they were getting so close. And Mac Jones, he's not a runner, but somehow he was able to escape. Like he was just like doing a slow 360.
Dude, surprisingly, there should have been like 3 more sacks in that game.
Yeah, he was like so, but he got away. He avoided some sacks. He was scrambling, but when you lose at the trenches, like the game is hard to play. It's even hard to throw the ball. There was some throws to like Hunter Henry that was just like very inaccurate, and it was like Hunter Henry is a tall dude, and he was like throwing away up here, and he's just like,
dude, I think Hunter Henry had a red zone target too, but like I was so excited. I was like, oh dude, watch this, get a touchdown. I was right. And then dude, Jakobi Meyers got hit so hard. Did you see that?
He got smashed.
And then he didn't play for like so he's nursing an injury. And I was like, you know what? I'm gonna assume he's healthy because I think I told you a long time ago. I was like, remember when I was like watching earlier in the year and I was like, Jakobi Meyers, man. Like he does all these underneath routes. It's amazing. He'll kill you. 10 minutes. But yeah, dude, like that just didn't happen. That didn't happen. But I do want to say one thing, Jason. From that game, do you feel like the Bills have regressed, from the beginning of the year?
Absolutely. I'm so happy you said that. I was just thinking that too. I think their firepower offense has definitely slowed down a bit. But it could also maybe mean a good thing because one thing that we always discussed is like it's hard to be an owner for the running backs because all they do is throw the ball, throw the ball, throw the ball. This was a game that they were handing the ball off a lot once they got the lead, trying to control it. That's not great for like the wide receivers. Josh Allen's going to get his points either way, right? He's going through those touchdowns, going to rush too. Maybe Diggs won't get affected too much by it. But Isaiah McKenzie, Dawson Knox, or even Gabe Davis is going to feel a lot from like if they're running the ball more. But you also said it too because they always start off hot and then in the second half they always slow down. Like they wouldn't perform well. Now I think they're just trying to do more of controlling once they have the lead. But does it feel that scary than it did in the first part of the year?
Yeah.
Is it the elbow?
What'd you say?
Is it the elbow?
That's so stupid, dude. I thought my computer was plugged in this entire time. It wasn't. And I was like, low battery mode. I just started freaking out. I'm sorry. But no, you're right, dude. Well, I think it's so according to Ross Tucker. I don't know if you ever do you know who Ross Tucker is?
Yeah, he's the kicker for Baltimore.
No, that's Justin Tucker. So Ross Tucker is like he played for the Patriots. He played for a lot of people. He was an offensive lineman, and I'm sorry. I feel like ever since I got really close to like it's focused on me when I'm close, so now I've got to stay close. He was saying that the Bills are not nearly what they were in the beginning of the year, offensive line wise, and they're getting pushed around all over the place, and they've had injuries. And then you watch that. It was Quessenberry, right?
Yeah.
You watch that Quessenberry, dude. And he was supposed to play right. He played right tackle for the Titans last year. Now he's playing left tackle for the Titans or for the Bills right now, and he's injured. I was thinking in my mind that you know what, dude, if the Kansas City Chiefs went if it was playoffs right now and the Chiefs had to go to the Bills to play him, I think that the Chiefs would win. I'd bet money on it.
Yeah, especially with like the in the beginning of the year, we're always like, ooh, Bills defense. And then last week, Thanksgiving against the Lions, I was watching that game and I'm like, I don't know if I really fear the Bills defense as I once did. Like when it comes to quarterbacks and wide receivers, like they are scoring points against them. They can. Unfortunately, this week for Patriot owners, Patriot player owners, Patriots have a horrible offense, and it kind of just the Bills' defense
Well,
benefits.
and this, you know what this tells you? Because like I even said like the Vikings suck. Like they're not better than the Bills, even though they beat the Bills. This just goes to show you, man. Like the Vikings defense was actually pretty good. They are so bad now.
I know.
I'm not even kidding, dude. It's like they're not going to win a championship this year like I wanted. It's not going to be anything because their defense is going to. They allowed Mac Jones to almost over 400 yards against them, dude. He threw for 195 against like a championship defense. So this is just not good. But I did notice that Mac Jones was missing a lot of stuff. Like, he's like, oh, throw the effing ball, man. But like they showed some stuff like where Tyquan Thornton was just like doing a seam route. He was wide open, dude. Like it was a second read. Like, I don't know. So it's not like if it's there, take it, dude. Like it's not like Tom Brady had to take every single underneath route.
Right.
I don't know if you saw that last night. Did you see that?
I didn't.
Dude, they played the replay of it, and I was like, "Oh my god, dude! Like, just hit that guy, and you have such an easy touchdown." But Tyquan Thornton was that rookie they drafted, and he hasn't really done much this year.
No, I think didn't he have the most something like that or most yards, but not a lot of really.
He got 31 yards, zero. Minnesota had 0 yards. 5 yards, 5 yards, 13. Oh my god, dude. Yeah. He was actually a hot pickup, for like 2 weeks. But dude, so anyways, from Mac Jones camp, he is saying that they're like, if you don't give me a real offensive coordinator and a plan to what you're doing, I'm going to demand a trade. Like he is so upset right now.
Yeah, you could tell. I think he felt like there was a lot of opportunity yesterday just because of how the matchup was, but he was so stuck and just. I mean, there's times he did throw the ball deep and he still didn't connect on him. I think there was like Thornton that he kind of threw deep and he didn't connect, and it's just like I don't know. Sometimes when players. I mean, look at Zach Wilson. They're like, "Do you feel bad because the defense did well and you didn't?" No. Sometimes quarterbacks don't take accountabilities, right? Speak to Matt Leinart. He did it when he played for the Cardinals. He was blaming his wide receivers, and he was gone. Sometimes
Larry Fitzgerald needs to learn how to be a wide receiver.
Yeah, it's sometimes you're out of there, Matt. USC baby. Yeah, I think there's a good chance from what you're telling me that Mac Jones might not be there next year. The other thing too about the Patriots is like, Bill Belichick, he like never really goes after top wide receivers. He is all about, huh?
This was the first year they did.
Who'd they get?
Tyquan Thornton.
They got him in the first round?
Yeah, because remember I was telling you about this. I think it was first round or high second. I was telling you, like literally every wide receiver that's been good for the Patriots has been they drafted as a quarterback, So it's like Julian Edelman. Oh damn it, they listed him like James White. I can't remember what it was, but it's not good.
It's well then I stand corrected, but I mean like he hasn't done much, so they didn't do a good pick on that. Maybe that's why Belichick doesn't like going after top-notch wide receivers because
you're right. And from what the Patriots insider said, they said because the system is so complicated, you have to be an ex quarterback to understand it. So it's like they never get the super athletic wide receivers, and so they did it this year. But their offense is so like conservative, dude. They kicked that field goal on 4th and what, dude? In like 2 minutes left.
Yeah,
that was so stupid. I was like watching this, like who the hell does this in 2022?
He kicked that 48-yard field goal and he didn't even reach it. He hit the bottom crossbar. I'm like, bro, you can't even reach 48 yards in the NFL?
I was gonna say something crazy, but I'm not.
Not for long if you can't kick 48 yards.
Well, Jason, you got 2 more minutes left. You want to say anything?
Yeah, man. I almost get some stuff off my chest. You're going down, Tyler. You're going. You wanna get up with me?
Huh? 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 Huh?
Everybody, Tyler's trying to play spoil on me this year and like make sure I don't make the playoffs. And it's very frustrating. I let him know how I feel about it. He don't even care. He just like stares at his wife and laughs. That's all he about.
Hey, well, if you're like me and you're out of playoffs because of, hey, dude, like I said, it's like blackjack. You give yourself the best chance to win, but you can still go down in flames, man. Like I drafted, Cortland Sutton, Michael Pittman Jr., Gabe Davis, Javonte Williams. I thought my draft was amazing. Guess what, dude? I went down in flames. But hey, don't stop trying because this is gonna make you a better fantasy player next year. Like it's no joke. Like,
Mm-hmm.
and it's all luck. But I mean, you should find passion in this stuff and have fun with it. Unless you're Matt getting screwed from people.
I know.
Did you see that message thing? That was crazy. I was like, oh my god, dude. 4 people make it to playoffs and people are doing shady stuff. I'm like, oh,
That's why I don't believe people in our league will do stuff like that. But we have a trade deadline that I think ends at week 10 or something like that.
You know what? It's so funny because I never even realized we had a trade deadline this year. I was still trying to trade people. Maybe it didn't even pop up. Like when I send in trades, it should tell me. I'm all waiting for him to reply. Like, maybe they should tell me.
Well, anyway, thank you everybody for making it this far. We appreciate it. If we could get your support with some likes, even some dislikes, and some subscriptions.